Imagine stepping into the future, a world where peace and prosperity reign supreme, a utopian paradise where humanity has finally overcome its greatest struggles. Sounds wonderful, right? Well, not according to the Bible. The biblical vision of the future is an entirely different landscape, one filled with chaos, calamity, and the looming presence of an Antichrist. But what exactly does the Bible predict about the future? Why does it paint such an apocalyptic picture? According to biblical scripture, there are 5 major prophecies that remain unfulfilled. 5 divine predictions that outline the course of events yet to come. And in this video, we will take an in-depth look at each of them. This is the future according to the Bible. Prophecy 1. The return of Jesus. One of the most well-known prophecies in the Bible is the return of Jesus Christ. And no, this isn't a reference to the Easter story, where Jesus rose from the dead after being crucified. This prophecy speaks of a future event known as the Second Coming, where Jesus is predicted to return to the earth in glory. Throughout the New Testament, there are numerous passages that allude to Christ's return, but one of the most detailed can be found in the Gospel of Matthew. It describes the event as an awe-inspiring and dramatic moment. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. The Bible contains several accounts of Jesus returning to judge the souls of both the living and the dead, an event known as the Last Judgment. This moment is a core theme in Christian theology, deeply embedded in religious teachings, sermons, and even artwork. Perhaps the most famous depiction of this event is Michelangelo's breathtaking fresco in the Sistine Chapel, where Christ is positioned at the center, sorting the righteous who ascend to heaven from the condemned who are cast into the depths of hell. This prophecy is undeniably dramatic and raises an essential question: when is it supposed to happen? The answer: no one knows, and that's intentional. The Bible does not specify when Jesus is scheduled to return. Over the centuries, many Christians have lived with the belief that it could happen in their lifetime, creating endless speculation and anticipation. And that brings us to today. The prophecy of Jesus' return remains unfulfilled. But before it can happen, other key events must first take place. Prophecy 2. The Great Tribulation. The Bible's next vision of the future is one that marks the beginning of a period of extreme hardship and chaos. Before the Second Coming, Scripture states that the earth must first descend into a time of unparalleled turmoil, an era known as the Great Tribulation. The Gospels highlight 3 major signs that will signal the arrival of this catastrophic period. Warfare. Conflicts and wars will become increasingly widespread. People will hear news of battles and strife breaking out in distant lands, creating an atmosphere of constant tension and unrest. Disasters. Natural calamities will intensify. Earthquakes will strike with greater frequency, and famine will devastate entire regions, leaving countless people struggling for survival. Persecution of Christians. Followers of Jesus will face severe persecution. Many will abandon their faith, deceived by false prophets and manipulative leaders. During this time, society will be thrown into a downward spiral, staggering from one catastrophe to another. Other biblical texts add further details about this period. Paul's letters warn of a civilization in rapid moral decline, plagued by unchecked greed, rampant corruption, and overwhelming selfishness. It's an unsettling vision of what's to come. But while this may seem like a uniquely grim forecast, history has already seen its fair share of horrific periods. Whether it was the devastation of the Black Death, the atrocities of the world wars, or the global unrest we witness today. Still, according to the Bible, this period of suffering is just the beginning. It serves as a sign that Jesus' return is drawing near. But before that moment arrives, the world must first face an even darker force. Prophecy 3. The rise of the Antichrist. Scattered throughout the Bible are references to a shadowy figure known as the Antichrist, an entity foretold to emerge as a powerful force of deception. Scripture warns that there will be individuals who rise to prominence, using their influence to lead people astray. However, the most vivid description of the Antichrist comes from the book of Revelation, where this ominous figure is referred to simply as the beast. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear and a mouth like that of a lion. Despite this grotesque and terrifying appearance, the beast will somehow manage to captivate the masses, drawing countless followers under its influence. The Antichrist won't act alone. Alongside this figure, there will be another menacing presence, a creature described as a lamb but bearing an unsettling number of horns. This second entity, known as the false prophet, will work to enforce absolute loyalty to the beast. People will be compelled to pledge their allegiance, marked by the infamous symbol known as the Mark of the Beast, the feared number 666. This prophecy paints a grim and disturbing vision of the future. However, many biblical scholars argue that these descriptions are likely meant to be taken symbolically rather than literally. They suggest that the Antichrist and the beast may represent oppressive governments, corrupt institutions, or powerful systems that stand in opposition to God's teachings. It's a heavy topic, but we're far from finished. Prophecy 4. The Third Temple. The Bible speaks of a sacred structure that once stood at the heart of ancient Israel, the temple. This holy place was destroyed not once but twice, first by the Babylonians and later by the Romans in 70 AD. However, biblical prophecy foretells that a third temple is destined to be built, one even grander and more magnificent than its predecessors. The prophet Ezekiel, in the Old Testament, offers a detailed vision of this future temple, meticulously outlining its structure, dimensions, and significance. Yet, despite these precise descriptions, such a temple has never been constructed. Today, the potential building of a third temple remains a highly controversial subject. The original temple site in Jerusalem is now occupied by the Dome of the Rock, an Islamic shrine of great religious importance. Constructing a new temple would likely lead to significant conflict, making this prophecy one of the most complex to fulfill. If the third temple truly plays a role in triggering the end times, perhaps avoiding its construction might be the loophole we need to delay these events. Just something to think about. Prophecy 5. Armageddon. You've probably heard the term Armageddon, but according to biblical prophecy, this isn't just a phrase, it's the final, ultimate battle. The book of Revelation describes a climactic confrontation between the forces of good and evil. On one side, Satan and his armies. On the other, God and his angels. The battle is said to take place at Har-Megiddo, a location better known today as Armageddon. Interestingly, this concept isn't exclusive to the Bible. The Dead Sea Scrolls, in a text called the War Scroll, describe a similar apocalyptic clash between the sons of light and the sons of darkness. The Bible is filled with prophecies about the future, and these 5 remain among the most significant. Whether viewed as literal predictions or symbolic warnings, they have shaped religious thought for centuries. And while they may seem dark, perhaps they were always meant to provide guidance, reminding believers that no matter the chaos, a divine plan is unfolding. If this message is touching your heart, share in the comments how you feel. Write, "I want to be in the presence of the Lord forever." This interaction not only strengthens your faith, but also encourages others to seek the truth. Stay with me. because there are still profound revelations ahead. If this video has inspired you, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. And of course, share your experiences in the comments. Together, we can build a strong and positive community. Thank you for joining us on this journey of growth and transformation. And may God bless you.